So I really love when I come across an example of something that on the surface doesn't seem to have a lot of relevance or isn't specific to my industry, but has some really great takeaways or applications. I came across this video yesterday of this guy. His YouTube channel is J Laser Video. He posted a video titled, "I built shoes to make me run fast." And essentially, the purpose of the video is he's trying to use technology and external tools to get him running as fast as Usain Bolt, to reach Usain Bolt's top speed, which I believe was 27 something miles per hour, which is about 43 kilometers per hour. So at the start of the video, he shows himself clocking in at 17.8 miles per hour, which is just under 29 kilometers per hour. And he essentially tries to add about 10 miles per hour to his speed. You see him initially with these essentially turbo boosters on his arms that he holds behind him to accelerate himself. And basically what he finds is these make him only slightly faster. What I'll summarize here is there's a few things that go into speed, which are you have to be able to produce enough force to accelerate you. Once you're moving really quickly, you need to be able to move your legs fast enough to essentially keep up with the speed that you're moving at. And there's a vertical force component where you are, as you're flying through the air, you are falling, and when you impact the ground, you have to be strong enough essentially to push yourself back up. And the faster you go, the more force is going to be generated there. So he, early on in this process, started to realize that this was going to be a problem as he artificially adds the acceleration component, the horizontal force component. There's these other things that need to be addressed because your body is not simply going to be able to adapt to these higher speeds. So he realizes that, and he plays around with some solutions which have varying degrees of success. He upgrades his turbos to something with more power to get him moving even quicker. And he realizes that one solution, because his limbs can't move fast enough to keep up with the speed that he's traveling at, he realizes that probably what he needs to do, or at least the solution he comes up with, is to make the bottom of his shoes very, very slick so that when the foot impacts the ground, it can slide, and then he doesn't have to turn over his next step as quickly. So you see this evolution of, as the technology he uses advances and he's traveling at faster and faster speeds, he has to come up with all these ways where his running looks less and less like running as he progresses. It's simply an example of the restrictions our body has when we're traveling at high speeds and the demands that are placed on us. You eventually, as he goes along and improves the technology and his technique and everything else, you see him, he goes and races against an Olympic runner, and you'll see here that despite all the add-ons and despite actually just simply sliding across the ground for a good chunk of the run, he only narrowly beats out this Olympic runner in the race. After some more toying around and practicing and getting better with it, He just narrowly clocks in at the end at 29 miles per hour, which is just slightly above Usain Bolt's top speed, which was the whole point of the video, was for him to beat that top speed. So I just thought this was fascinating because it shows us the restraints. You couldn't just strap a booster to your body and beat Usain Bolt in a race, because your legs would just not keep up with you. Like we saw in this video, he started at 17 miles an hour, simply going up to 19 miles an hour. He just couldn't keep up with it, let alone, the 27 that Usain Bolt travels at. So I just thought this was fun. Something to get us thinking about sprinting and the demands on our body when we're trying to get faster. So go check out the video. I'll put the information for it below. But hopefully you had fun with this like I did.